Each day this week, we've been taking a look at some spiritual lessons that we can learn from some of the pieces of equipment that's to be found in a children's playground. We've talked about seesaws and swings and merry-go-rounds and slides, and from them we've illustrated some truths about life and the Christian faith. Well, today as we conclude this trip, we go over and we look at the Sandbox and we observe children playing in the sand. You know, the Sandbox is not all that popular with parents whose house cleaning chores are frustrated when children come in and their clothes are full of sand. But children usually find the Sandbox to be a very enjoyable place. And while the Sandbox furnishes hours of enjoyment for children, it also reminds adults of the tragic mistake that millions are making. And that is that the majority of adults are building their lives upon the sand. Listen to the way that Jesus concluded his Sermon on the Mount. In Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27, he said, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." Now notice, those that heard the words of Jesus and did them are like those who were built on a firm foundation. But those who heard the words of Jesus and did not heed those words, they are foolish. They are like one who has built their house on a foundation of sand. Now, what the Lord said in conclusion of this sermon may be said of all of his teachings. Actually, in that sermon, he laid the platform for the entire New Testament. The lesson is simple. Those who do the things that Christ says to do are wise. They build upon Christ, who is the rock, that solid foundation. They're able to stand during the trials and adversities of this life. And most important, they will stand in the day of judgment. They will hear him say, "Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world," Matthew 25:34. Those who build their lives upon things other than Christ build upon the sand. And we might even intensify the illustration by saying that these build upon the quicksand. These inferior foundations upon which people build do not give the needed support when, as one writer put it, when life comes tumbling in. And again, the most important realization is that these will not have an eternal and immovable foundation upon which to stand in the day of judgment. They will be lost forever. Now listen to what I'm saying. I'm speaking to some on this day who are building your lives upon your secular education. Now, education can be a great blessing to you, to society, provided it's kept in its rightful perspective. There's some of you who are building your lives upon this education as the foundation, but this is not sufficient. There are times in this life when it will not suffice, and the truth of God says that it will not save your immortal soul. In every generation, multitudes upon multitudes build on the foundation of material things. At the same time, we all know that money and the things it can provide are unable to buy love and sympathy and encouragement, friendship, consolation, understanding, health, peace of mind, a good conscience, faith, hope, and a host of other essentials to a good life. But most of all, the dollar and all of a material nature will perish at the end of time. The earth and all that are in it shall be destroyed once our souls have been summoned to the day of judgment. Now concerning these things, the Apostle Paul wrote that we brought nothing into this world, and we will carry nothing out of it. Even if a person had no qualm about right and wrong, he would be unwise to rob a bank if he knew that he would not get out of the town without being captured. The word of truth teaches, as does life itself, that we cannot get out of this world with our money and our possessions. Therefore, it's foolish to build our lives upon these things. And then, there are many whose lives are centered around their families and friends. While teaching that we should love and appreciate these, Christ says plainly in Luke 14 and verse 26 that we must love all these less than Him in order to be His disciple. For only those who build their lives upon that solid foundation of Jesus Christ may be called wise. Friends, we thank you for joining us for our program today, and have a blessed day.